Hello, I'm Peter Alsop, and our song to chew this week is from my Grow It at Home album. It's called Strangers. This particular version of the song is taken from my 1992 concert that we recorded in Topanga to help folks with child abuse prevention. My friend, the actor John Ritter, performed with us, along with Irene van der Zand and Timothy Dunphy, the founders of KidPower, which is an organization that provides workshops all over the country helping kids and families be safe. We videoed the concert and made a DVD out of it called Wake Up. Strangers is just one of the songs we did that day, and we've been told that this DVD has actually saved some kids' lives. What could be better than that? So let's listen to our song to chew for today from my Grow It at Home album and the Wake Up DVD, Strangers.
I'm not frightened of you, but some people are very scary.
Like when there's a creepy stranger around.
What's a stranger?
Well, a stranger is anyone you don't know.
Hey, sing that stranger song you used to sing on TV.
I'll try to do it, just like I used to.
If a great big ugly guy walks by while you are playing in your yard and he says, "Hey little kid, you want a stick of gum or a chocolate bar?" Would you take it from him?
No!
Well, what if it's your favorite?
No!
Well, what if he had ice cream?
No!
And we know why, 'cause he's a stranger. Someone we don't know, he's a stranger. He might be nice, but even so, we follow safe advice. So to strangers, we say no! If a pretty lady's at your door, she rings your bell, you're home alone and she says, "Hey little kid, I'm lost, please let me in to use your phone." Would you let her in?
No!
Well, what if she was smiling?
No!
Well, what if she looked like a movie star?
No!
Well, what if she said she'd been lost for 42 days and she hadn't had anything to eat in 2 weeks and she needed a great-looking little kid like you to let her in? So please, please, let me use your phone. Wouldn't let me in right now, would you do it?
No!
And we know why, 'cause she's a stranger. Someone we don't know, she's a stranger. She might be nice, but even so, we follow safe advice. So to strangers, we say no! Now let me get this straight, a stranger's anyone I don't know, so I shouldn't talk to strangers or go off alone with someone who I don't know, because strangers are not always ugly looking. Sometimes they act nice and friendly, but they're still a stranger. Even if I think I might have seen them, I should never let them get too close, and we know why, 'cause they're a stranger. Someone we don't know, they're a stranger. They might be nice, but even so, we follow safe advice. So to strangers, we say
No!
to strangers, we say
No!
to strangers, we say no.
That was my buddy Greg Hilfman on piano, Derek Zimmerman on drums, Carl Seelove played bass, and Melora Marshall, Ellen Gear, and Shelby Flint sang on the chorus with the audience. And for any of you musicians out there, you may have noticed that the choruses are in 4/4 time, but then, for all the verses, we switched to 5/4 time, which is much harder to play and count out, but way fun. So, where was I? Right. One of the things that we want to wake up to these days is the violence to children. It's one of the leading health issues for kids. I'm really grateful and glad that my daughter Willow, who performed with us, was able to go through the KidPower program. She's learned about how to keep herself safe and how to protect herself if necessary. That's so important in our world, because before young people are 18 years old, 1 out of 4 of them will have been abused. I think the study said that 85% of the time it was done by someone that they know and trust. Almost all kids have fear of being taken by a stranger. In fact, in one study, over 1/2 of the kids actually went with a strange adult, even after being warned not to go. Lots of times we think our kids don't know about this, but today's kids see so much social media, so they know it can be scary out in the world, right? Yeah. One of the most important things we can do is to be aware of how we're feeling. Our feelings are like an early warning system. If we're feeling uncomfortable about a situation and we say, maybe I ought to do something about this. We probably ought to listen to that little voice. So along with paying attention to our feelings, what else can we do to protect ourselves? After something dangerous happens, we hear parents say, well, if I told her once, I told her 1,000 times. So one of the things we can do is to practice some of the safety rules and methods with kids and let them physically try it themselves. That's what KidPower does. It provides a trained, padded assailant that kids can actually hit and kick without hurting them. But the practice is important because without it, it's just technical training, and it won't necessarily show up when you need it in an emergency situation. Another thing we can do is be clear with kids about the information we share with them. As Irene points out, kids need help understanding some of the confusing dynamics that go on with grown-ups around them. Who are strangers? Well, stranger is just someone you don't know. They might be a man or woman or a boy or girl. They might not always be scary. Some strangers can be nice and friendly. But if we don't know who they are, they still might be harmful to kids. So one of the rules we follow is that if a child is 8 years old or under and on their own, they shouldn't ever talk to strangers, except in emergencies. And kids who are over 8 years old can talk to strangers if they choose, but number one, they need to keep a safe distance away from them, and number two, don't give any personal information to this person. You may ask, why 8 years old? That's because kids who are 8 or under can easily get distracted from their safety rules when they're talking to someone. And a stranger is anyone we don't know. We have to spend some time with them to know about them and their family, where they live, what their feelings are. Have we ever seen them get angry or be sad? Do we feel safe with them? In some situations, maybe yes, but maybe not in other situations. And as we said, it's so important to practice these boundaries and not just talk about them. We've been taught to be polite and not make anyone uncomfortable, and yet it can feel very uncomfortable to attract attention to ourselves by yelling really loud for help when we need it. But that's just what we need to do when we're in trouble. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Peter Alsop, and I'll be back next week with another Song to Chew. Bye for now. Be well.